Hey everyone, it's Desiree, and I am back again with another Birch Press Design team project. This time I'm going to be using the Dahlia mini frame set and kind of stretching it. Want to focus on what we can do with this type of a die and how we can use it to be something else. Because you can see this die here it's a rectangle with this beautiful Dahlia that sits in the corner of it, but it's not a full background size. It's about just under 3 inches wide and just under that 4-inch mark, or just over, just under 4 inches. So, and I'm also going to use the Big Friends sugar script dies. I do love the font of those sugar scripts. The more and more that I use them, and I love the background that comes with it. So these are the 3 layering dies, and what I've done is I've chosen 3 very, very odd colors, very much out of my comfort zone when it comes to these colors, but I did feel that they went really well with each other, and I just wanted to show you here how easily, when these are die cut, how easily they come out. Yes, I'm using my little pokey tool here and the brush end of my tool-in-one there to get all of those pieces out. So I cut 2, so you're wondering. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my scissors and I'm going to snip on the corners opposite from each other, but keeping the Dahlia that's sitting there as well. Now I'm only going to do it to the base. This is the bottom layer. And I'm going to now adhere each of the other ones. Why am I not cutting the other ones? I'm going to use the base as my guide for when I cut. So I'll attach the other 2 layers on top, and then I'll be able to flip that over, and I'll show you that. I'll flip that over, and then I'll know where to cut, because then it'll be even, if that makes sense. Sometimes, did I think about cutting each one? Absolutely. But then I'm like, well, they could be off. They could not be even. I want to make sure I have this mitered cut on the angle. So I actually thought through this one. Well, I'm pretty impressed with myself. So here I am with this final layer that's going to come up on that yellow. And it kind of tones down the yellow, because when you look at that yellow on its own, it's very bright. It's vibrant. I'm really not a yellow type person. I usually, I'm in the teals and the purples, obviously, if you see my videos before. So really not anything that's too bright. And you can see that I was able to use the orange that's underneath as my guide right where to snip. And I'm going to do the same thing. So you can see this is a nice size. I mean, this would be beautiful with some backgrounds, whether you blend it with your inks or if you have the oxides, or you can use your watercolors, you can use your colored pencils. However you create your backgrounds, this would be beautiful to come off of that. I mean, think of it as a silhouette, doing it in black. And, there was a previous video that I did, and I'll link up to it in the right-hand corner here if I remember, where I used, it was actually for Birch Press as well, where I looked at the fact just using white or black embossing powder, same background, same colors, and how it can change the look of that. I think we would have the same thing that you could do here. So just by changing your cardstocks or, the accenting piece can really change how your piece is going to look. Now again, for this, I'm actually wanting to stretch this die to give it a different look. So meanwhile, as I've rambled there, I'm focusing on putting my friend, and I'm keeping the colors close. I wanted to use the top color that I used in my layers, and then I'm using an ivory for the friend. And I know, with all of the lights, when you do these videos, you got to have some bright lights going on here sometimes. You can see that when my hands come over it, it's just enough that that friend will pop off your panel, and it will be seen. It doesn't look like there, but you can see when the shade comes in, there is a good contrast there. So I did choose to have a black base, which is cut 4 by 5 1/4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these corners and I'm going to stretch them across from each other. So now I'm able to get these two beautiful blooms on this panel. If I just stuck to the one, they would have overlapped. It would have, now, and again, that would be different too. You know, as I keep talking, I think of these different ideas, you know, where they would cross over each other. So you would get that really cool step effect. But just to take this die and snip it in 2 corners, you're able to stretch that out. So I'm going to glue down the last one, and again, that's going to go down into the bottom right-hand corner. And again, it's just a little bit different. You know, you have the open 2 corners to show the black. Now think of that on white cardstock and how different that would be. So again, just by changing the feel of that background can give you a different tone. I'm going to put the friend, I'm going to straddle that right across the 2 dahlias because I don't want to cover them up. I want those to actually be my focal. And it's amazing how I pull this up. The colors in my camera change, so I think that's kind of fun. I'm going to use my liquid glue to put this down on my standard A2 size card base. It is white. And it is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and it is a top folding card base as well. So you can stop right there. I think with all of the vibrant colors that I used, you really don't have to add too much, but I'm going to add just a little bit of bling with some iridescent sequins. And what I love about my iridescent sequins, they are my staple. When it comes to sequins and using them this way, they actually take on the look of the cardstock that's sitting around it. So these actually pull in those oranges and the yellows, and that it's like a seafoam green. It's not a pool, but it's got a green tint to it. So I think it was just enough to add that. So I do hope that you enjoyed my design team project today for Birch Press Design. I think it's really neat. I am curious about the white background, so maybe we'll show you some pictures on that. All the products that I did use will be linked down below, along with the link to the Birch Press Design blog and their gallery, so that you can see all of the wonderful inspiration over there for their products as well. If you have any questions or comments, please leave those down below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. It may take a little bit, but I promise you I will get back to you so that I can answer all of your questions regarding these products and many others. So if you have those questions as well. I do thank you so much for joining me today and watching my video. If you haven't already, please, I would love for you to subscribe so that you can tune in for my next video as well. Here are a few other videos that I have done for Birch Press Design just to show you the differences in their products. But I hope everyone is having a great day. I hope everyone takes care. And always remember, though, always be creative.